Another courtroom, another deal struck in the shadows, another predator walking free, while children face the gallows. District attorneys are trading justice as if it's their currency. Judges signing off on plea deals. Where will this madness end? You went to law school and took an oath to uphold the law, but when you protect the predators, what do you expect? The children are innocent, they are victims of these crimes. When did our justice system decide that young lives don't matter? Stand up for the children, no more protecting predators. The children are the ones who need us, they're the innocent. How did soft plea deals replace the time they should spend? If you won't protect the children, who will stand up? Stand up! Stand up! Stand up for the children. No registry, no jail time, just a slap on the wrist, while the child receives a life sentence that will last forever. Judges, when you see these deals crossing your bench today, do your job and say no. Send that predator away. Whoa, bikers against child abuse, stand with children alone, while DS secretly make deals that are never revealed. Then they watch their predators walk out that door. We won't tolerate this injustice anymore. Stand up for the children, no more protecting predators. The children are the ones who need us, they're innocent. How did soft plea deals replace the time they should be spending? If you won't protect the children, who will stand up? Stand up! Stand up! Stand up for the children. A child brave enough to speak deserves our full protection, not prosecutors trading deals and backroom negotiations. Judges Diaz, will you save them or turn away? When children find their voice, you better make predators pay. Share their pictures publicly, warn their next victim. The system's failing our babies. Sound the alarm. They don't learn, they don't stop unless they're locked away. Accountability is long overdue. Make predators pay. Stand up for the children, no longer protect predators. The children are the ones who need us, they're innocent. Can't defend children, just chase easy wins and plea deals. Find a new job, predators don't walk free anymore. Stand up, speak out, let your anger ignite. Prison time for predators, end this broken game. A registry is essential, justice must be done. The children are innocent, they deserve every word we say. Be the village that protects them, say no to plea deals now. Stand with the children. We won't back down, we won't back down. Silence is betrayal. Speak for the children.
Live on the air, it's Trial Junkies United presents Justice After Dark with your host, Z.
Doc. Well, 9 felonies, no jail time, 8 felony counts, probation, multiple victims, reduced charges, child after child after child, deal after deal after deal. This is Travis County, Texas, Austin. And this is what justice looks like when the people sworn to protect our children decide that predators deserve a second chance. Tonight, we're not looking away. And I want to bring this to attention because just in the next said that wrong. Just in the next of crime. I'm saying it wrong for some reason. Anyway, he's the one that really brought this to attention, you guys. And first off, let me say some hellos. I know when we have a guest, I have a hard time getting to chit chat with you guys. So Fala and a Sailor's Wisdom Cap, thanks my mods for being here. Give them some love. Southern Gal, True Crime. We have Miranda and Ben. I hope I haven't missed anybody. Thank you guys for coming tonight because this one's going to be important. And just in the nick of crime, there it goes, just in the nick of crime. He's the one that brought this to my attention. I was watching one of his episodes on another case I was going to cover, and then this one came up. Hey, Katrina.
Hey, Katrina, how you doing?
And I felt like it needed to be covered. So let's just say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But what do you call it when prosecutors fail children over and over and over again for 9 years? I call it complicity. Man, I can't talk.
Complacency?
Thank you, Doc. My tongue is just all over the place. Whoa. And that's just not a good thing. Let me tell you, when this happens, I hate it. But tonight, there is a trigger warning, you guys, because this is a tough subject that we're going to cover. But it's also a subject that really we need to listen to. We need to cover it because it's kind of the situation that if this child can go through this and withstand it, we can listen to her story. Because someone has to get angry. And that's what we want to see. We want to see people get angry. Because this has got to stop. And so if you do need to take a break for your mental health, we totally understand. We get that. And do that. Take care of yourself. Fala can't spell and I can't talk. Ooh, we're a dangerous duo today. So, like I said, we do have the trigger warning, and it's okay if, you need to take that break. Go ahead and do it. I don't want anyone to ever feel like, they can't. But first of all, let's go ahead and start talking about what happened here. And I got to find my place. Ooh, love when that happens. Because the painful reality of our justice system that has repeatedly and repeatedly protected the predators instead of our children. And this is why this is so important, because they're the most vulnerable and innocent victims out there. So we're going to get started. Got myself lost. Now I'm found. Yay. So let me tell you a story, and it might make you sick, and I mean literally, if you're eating dinner, put it to the side. But before we delve into this, we're going to take a brief overall of recent developments in Travis County. Okay? For 9 years, prosecutor Ephraim D. Lafente has been the director of the Child Abuse Division. Now, Mr. D. Lafente has served as an assistant director for the Special Victims Unit and Trial Division. He hasn't taken any of these cases to trial. Did you hear me? None. Case after case, predator after predator. They've been making deals.
Wait a minute. How long?
9 years.
And not one?
Nope.
Oh.
Backroom negotiations, reducing charges, and handing out probation like it's Halloween candy. And child victims watching their abusers. Some of them basically walk free. Families begging for justice, being told, this is the best we can do. And Travis County keeps doing it. So when I tell you what happened last Monday, I want you to understand this isn't new. It's not a mistake. This really seems to kind of be their policy. And that's a problem. So, Austin, Texas, Travis County, November 2025, a man named Richard Leigh Bell walks out of the 390th District Court. Now, you'd think maybe he was there for a traffic ticket, right? Perhaps. Some minor offense? No. Richard Leigh Bell, and his name, and you know I love to give these dog turds special names, but we want his name known. It's Richard Leigh, Leigh, Bell, Bell, was actually indicted on 9 felony counts. 9. Let me break that down for you. 1 count of continuous SA of a child under 14. 6 counts of aggravated SA of a child. 2 counts of indecency with a child. 9 total counts. Now there was another victim. Years of abuse. And Richard Leigh Bell walked out of that courtroom on Monday with no jail time. Let that sink in. 5 years deferred probation. That's it. That's what a child's innocence is worth in Travis County. The victim, under the age of 14. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are going to think, well, you know, she was a preteen. That's terrible. No, it's worse. He started when she was 2. 2 years old when the monster started abusing her. She was abused for 5 years until she was 7. 5 years of hell for a child who should have been playing with dolls, learning to read. You know what happens to a 2-year-old being abused? She was doing well with her potty training and then had to go back into diapers because of the trauma of what this predator did to her and her fear. Because she didn't know at first what it was wrong. It felt icky. CPS got calls, multiple calls. They did nothing. The mother claims she didn't know. How do you know what's not happening under your own roof for 5 years? He was her boyfriend. She didn't want to know. And like I said, her sibling was also a victim. And this man destroyed this child's life. Thankfully, she got the courage to finally tell her father and her stepmom. But after this outcome, I wouldn't blame her sister for not coming forward. Would you? No. And do you think these two were the first victims? This man's 37 years old. He just started, 5 years ago. I doubt. But we're going to talk about the plea deal that betrayed a child. You're probably wondering, how did 9 felony counts become probation? 2 words, plea deal. Prosecutors offered Richard Leigh Bell a deal. They dismissed all 9 felony counts, all those charges, every single one of them, in exchange for Bell pleading guilty to one count of injury to a child, a third-degree felony. And here's the kicker. The victim's father didn't have a say. And let me read to you what he said standing outside that courtroom. I was outraged to discover that this was not only our first and last plea deal, but also our deal, whether I liked it or not. That's what he was told, whether he liked it or not. This man's daughter was SA'd for 5 years, and the prosecutors told him, this is the deal. Take it or leave it. You want to know why they suddenly offered this sweetheart of a deal?
Yeah, I don't know about anybody else, but I sure do.
Well, early in October, the prosecutors filed a notice claiming that during a phone conversation with witnesses, they expressed concern that Bell might retaliate. And one witness allegedly said something like, he knows it was us that framed him. I mean, turned him in. Now, the witnesses later said someone misspoke. The call note was a misquote. But 2 days after that notice was filed, this plea deal agreement was on the judge's desk. So let me ask you this. If Richard Leigh Bell was framed, he's innocent, why would he take a plea deal? Why would he plead guilty? Why would he agree to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life? Because that is the only redeeming quality of this deal. And I'll tell you why. He's guilty. And Travis County gave him a get out of jail free card, like they're playing Monopoly. And you know what the real kicker is? You know why the prosecutors love plea deals? Because it's a sure way to boost their stats. They aren't required to do the work. They aren't required to prepare for a trial. They aren't required to put that child on the stand. They aren't required to fight. They just get to add another conviction to their record and move on to the next case.
And move up the ladder, you might add.
Exactly. A plea deal equals a win.
Mm-hmm.
And a win equals a good performance review. And like you said, Doc, that good performance review leads to career advancement.
Yep.
It's not about justice. It's about numbers. It's about their resume. It's about them. In fact, I heard one father make this comment when his daughter was murdered. He said, the state doesn't go to trial for the victim. They go to the trial for crimes against the state. The victim is just the path they take to get there. You know what a trial means for a prosecutor? Risk. Risk of losing. Risks of their conviction rate falling. Risk of their boss asking uncomfortable questions. Risks of their political opponents using it against them in the next election. And a child's sense of justice isn't worth risking that for them. They make the deals. They dismiss the charges. They allow the predator to walk with probation, and they count it as a win. A win for who? Not for the 9-year-old girl, because that's what she is. She's 9 right now. Not her family. Not for the community. It's a win for the prosecutor's career. That's it. So this isn't an isolated incident, y'all. This is a pattern that Travis County hasn't prosecuted a child predator case, probably they said in 9 years. And let me say that again, 9 years. The prosecutor in charge, this man right here, of child abuse cases in Travis County hasn't taken a case to trial. They do plea deals over and over and over again. At this point, I wonder if he would even know how to go into the courtroom for a trial. Hey, Barbara, thanks for coming, darling. Talk about being rusty.
Mm-hmm.
And how is this justice? But let's not forget the district attorney, because basically, this was the other prosecution on her. She would have been second chair. So we got to have her picture up there, because Lorraine, you stood there beside Ephraim and watched this happen. So there you are. But let's look at the district attorney, Jose Garza. He was reelected in November of 2024. And his office talks a big game about reducing gun violence and centering victims' needs. But where are those centered victims when children are being betrayed? Of the 100 attorneys working in Garza's office, 19 have resigned when he first came to office earlier. He got reelected in 2024, but in December of 2021, he had 19 people resign. His office is short-staffed. Hey, William. And they miss state-mandated deadlines for indictments. Murder defendants have been released on reduced bonds because prosecutors couldn't get their paperwork together. But they found time to cut a deal with the child predator. They even let one child predator, he got to leave because they actually, instead of charging him, they just had him deported, where more children are going to fall victim. Yeah, that was good. They found time to make sure Richard Leigh Bell walked free. Priorities, right? We all have to have them. But let's be clear about what those priorities are. Taking a case to trial, too much work, man. Fighting for a child victim, too risky. Putting in the hours to build an airtight case, too time consuming. But cutting a quick plea deal that counts as a win, that they can do.
And they take it to the bank.
Exactly. And that little girl needed warriors. What did she get? Bureaucrats who cared more about their caseload than her life. She wanted prosecutors who would fight fiercely to ensure her abuser never walked free. Instead, she got prosecutors who took the easier route. And here's what's really frustrates me. These same prosecutors will go on camera and talk about how they're tough on crime. They're going to stand at a press conference and talk about protecting our community. But when it comes to actually doing and protecting a child, when it comes to being tough on crime and being tough with a predator who abuses a 2-year-old for 5 years until she's 7, they fold, they deal. They prioritize their conviction rate over that child's justice. Because true justice is elusive. It requires effort. True justice might mean losing. And they prioritize their win-loss record over the well-being of children. That 9-year-old went to court. She wanted to have her say. That is a brave warrior. And the cowards didn't even have a trial. The judges, let me talk about the judges. Her judge was Julie, I'm going to butcher this name, as I always do. There's Richard Dr. Leigh Bell. He's just a mess. Judge Julie, her last name is Kokurek. Corrick? I don't know. I really don't know this chick's name. But what you need to know is the victim's father said that, whoops, I think I've gone too far with my pictures. Sorry, guys. I got to back up a little bit. Yep, I went too far. That happens. Doc gets me all set up with everything, and I just went a little farther than I was supposed to. Come on, Julie. There, where'd you go? Did I lose her?
Yeah, you're going quite a bit
Are you going
back
too
now.
far? Okay. Well, eventually she'll show. But let me tell you what the father said about her case. The father said that during the sentencing and having to listen to the allocutions and the charge, the judge buried her head in her hands. You hear me? She buried her head in her hands. She felt bad. Oh, really? But you didn't stop the plea deal. She has to sign off on it. It's not like she doesn't have the power to say, "Oh, what are you doing? We're not doing this." That's not justice, Judge Julie. That's cowardice.
Unless she's being blackmailed some way.
Oh, I just don't think they care. I don't think it's anything like that.
I think it's more of a stats driven thing than anything else.
I think it's become a routine. I think they've got this thing going and this is how they do things. Joe Garza, the DA, he likes it that way. Let's keep these wins going, people.
Yeah.
But you know what the state is really there for? Not the victim, not the child, not justice. The state's there to protect the state. The system is there to serve the system. The prosecutors work for the state of Texas. Not for that little girl, not for her family, not for you, me, or any children in this community. They work for the state, and the state's priority is efficiency, conviction rates, clearance statistics, budget management. A child's trauma, that's a case number. File on my desk. Another item to be processed as quickly and efficiently as possible. You know what justice would look like if prosecutors actually cared? What's going on with my pictures? Are you moving things around?
Yes, I am.
Oh, there's Julie. There's Judge Julie. Hey, Judge Julie. Put your hands in your hand. You should be ashamed of yourself. So justice would look like if the prosecutors actually cared, because there are good prosecutors out there. I'm not bashing all of them. There are those that care and there are those that fight. They're not located in Travis County, Texas. For a state that likes to say we care about justice, yeah, go back to the playbook.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they cared, they'd fight. They'd prepare. They'd take it to trial, even if it was difficult, especially if it was difficult. They would work overtime. They would build the case. They would stand before a jury, demand accountability, and they would look that little girl in the eye and say, "I'm going to fight for you with everything I have." But that's not what happened, because fighting is risky. Fighting could mean they might lose, and losing is bad for their stats. So instead, they looked that little girl's father in the eye and said, "This is the deal. Take it or leave it, whether you like it or not." That's who they work for, not the children themselves. What are you also teaching the predators? Hey, go to Travis County. You won't get hit that hard with penalties for harming children. That's the place to go. They don't really care. CPS, the DA, prosecutors, or the judges. if you truly care, why aren't you standing up and saying, we need a grand jury to look into this investigation, the misconduct of not taking any of these cases to trial? This is what I call not prosecuting at all. These people are not prosecutors. They're just making excuses. And to me, that's prosecutorial misconduct because you're not doing your job. And that's wrong. So Richard Leigh Bell had every excuse in the book. He's a conspiracy theorist. And get this, you guys, he thinks he's related to some Viking god or something equally stupid. And when everything happened, he was actually he had moved to Lexington, Virginia. So Virginia, beware, he's in your state. So he was working and living in Virginia. And he told his boss he had to go to Texas to handle a court case involving his ex-wife. Well, number one, he never married this woman. So it wasn't an ex-wife. He lied right there. He made it sound like it was a custody dispute, you guys, or something. He made no mention of child SA charges, of course.
Well, of course, he couldn't tell the truth.
No. And one of his workmates actually even made the comment that he had started getting weird at the job. Like there were some young girls that had come, I think if I remember correctly, he works at like a car repair shop. And so one of the cases that these girls came in to, I think, have a car worked on or something, and he was making really disgusting comments about these girls. So the people that worked with him were getting a little weirded out by him. Now, remember the DA's comment that they issued after this in the paper where they were talking about, oh, we got this tip, and we had to do this. In the comment in that paper, they said the victim was 4 or 5 when this started to happen. But when the dog turd was confronted, one of his claims when all of this happened was he claimed the 2-year-old came on to him. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Lolitas are starting so young these days at age 2.
Yep.
But he said it started at 2. So that's why I don't believe a word that came out in the statement about they have a witness that might have said something wrong. I don't know, Katrina. That's an interesting thought. I have no idea.
But Katrina also made a good point up further, that everyone owes everyone a favor. Well, it doesn't seem like that. It is like that.
Yeah.
Everybody has done something somewhere along the line that they are calling in a favor for, or they are getting a get out of jail free card for.
Yeah. Well, this guy had a public defender. So it wasn't even like he had an attorney that, had a name or something to protect or a reputation. And I'm not saying public defenders are not good attorneys. This one certainly was. He got a great deal for his client. But most likely, there are mature public defenders. I'm not saying that, but a lot of them are young, because that's where they kind of start in their careers. I don't know about the one that defended him. But so it wasn't like he had this really tough hitting defense attorney that went in there and was fighting for him, but a 2-year-old was hitting on me. Really? She came on to you? You're an adult. I don't care if she'd been 16 and was dressed skimpily. You're the adult. You're the one that has to say no. It's not the child. So, to be crystal clear, children cannot consent. Children cannot seduce you. Children cannot be blamed for the evil that adults inflict on them. Anyone who makes that claim is telling you exactly who they are, and believe them. And Richard Leigh Bell, he went back to Lexington, Virginia. So Virginia, watch out. You have a sexual predator that likes little kids. He's 37 years old. He's required to register as a sex offender, but that's it. And I'll tell you, I looked in the sex offenders registry in Texas, I looked in Virginia, and I looked on the federal one. And so far, guess who's not listed? So you guys, we need this. We need his picture blasted. Blast him on all of your social media because, as Justin in the Nick of Crime said, let's make him infamous. Let's make him so infamous that the minute someone sees him walking down the street, they're going to say, ooh, that's Richard Leigh Bell, and he's a predator.
I wonder how Professor McLeod would have got would have fared with this situation, because he seemed like a pretty competent person, to be.
Oh, he wouldn't have put up with that.
It's just but he said something that just rings true with this,
Yep.
With the dog turd, is that, hey, this guy can't be cured.
Nope.
It's just,
hey, Tracy,
and they let him slide by on the checks and balances situation.
They actually almost screwed up his extradition, bringing him back to Texas because Virginia had him in jail and were waiting, and they forgot to get the paperwork going. Yeah. And then with him having to be on the sex registry, and he's not so far, I just wonder if the DA in Garza is going to screw this one up too. I did a report card, as you can see, for Jose and Ephraim and Lorraine and Judge Julie. They all get Fs. Yeah. They all flunked as far as I'm concerned. And, think about it this way. We're going to blast his picture everywhere, but he's probably already shaved the beard. He's already changed his appearance. But this smug dog turd will know. And he'll be out there looking for another single mom with children. So single moms, step up. Don't let men near your children, male or female. I know sometimes life is lonely, but don't leave them with these dudes or other, if you swing the other way, don't leave them with other people. You have the other parent. If you're so lonely that matters to you more than your child, let the other parent have custody. Okay? That's how easy it is. Either you parent or you don't, because her daddy stood up for her. Her daddy was a warrior. And we know, like Doc said, predators don't stop. They're not going to get better. No, they go hunting for the next victim. And he's going to find some woman, and he'll groom the children and her and manipulate them. And they destroy, and the system lets them. And that's what keeps happening. But let's see, Doc, can you go back to the pictures with Baca, the motorcycle group?
Oh, yeah. Hold on just a second.
Okay. But you know who was there for this victim when the system failed her? Who backed that little survivor? It was Bikers Against Child Abuse. BACA. Not the prosecutors, not the DA, not the judge. Bikers Against Child Abuse. These warriors, they're here, everyday heroes, you guys. They stood with this family. What they do is they have a ceremony for these children. They give them their leather cut. When they have court cases, they will go to court and stand with them so that they don't feel alone, so that they feel protected. So if you see any BACA members when you're out and about, and it's BACA, BACA, because no child deserves to live in fear, go out and thank them. Thank them for what they do, that they're there for these children. And it's not a one-time deal. They stay and they help. They're everyday heroes. So when the people who actually have the job it is to protect the children and couldn't be bothered, well, we know who's fighting. And then Justin in the Neck of Crime, he is a content creator who has been sounding the alarm. And I really thank him for coming out and bringing this story to all of us about what's happening in Travis County. He actually had another story I was going to focus on in Oklahoma, and then this came up. And because the victim was so small, I just had to put him up first. But he has a petition going, you guys. We're going to put it in the description. And it's to stop plea deals for child predators. We're going to link it below. Please go sign it, share it, make some noise. Because the only way this changes is if we demand change. He's almost at 100,000. And so let's help him get there. And he said the interesting thing that he has found, it's mostly women that sign. So let's talk to the guys listening right now. And you women, talk to your husbands afterward. Because he brought this out. He said to the men, where are you? Where are you when the children are being abused? Where are you when the predators are walking free? You want to be called, the man of the house, the protector you claim to be. But are you using your voice or letting the women lead the charge? Be the warriors they always had to be for their children. Now, this little girl's father was a warrior. And he did speak up. And he's being there, just like Justin in the Nick of Crime said. He stands for the children, and he lets us know. So the petition will be listed below, where you can go and sign it. And truthfully, I've been trying to connect with him, and we just haven't been able to yet. But I think we ought to raise the age of consent to 18. If we have a federal law that 18 is the legal drinking age, why isn't the age of consent 18 throughout the entire country? I mean, it's just something to think about. If you're not able to vote and you're not able to drink, then why are you able to even consent at 16 or in some other states at a different age? It should just be across the board 18. And if states have a problem with that, check into who's running the government, because if you have a 16-year-old girl, that's just wrong. Oh, 21? Okay, legal drinking. You're right. It is 21.
Yep.
But so if you can't drink at 21, but you can consent in some states at 16, no. That's wrong. But you can't vote until you're 18. So there's some conversations for all of us to have. So let's think about that. And men, where are you when your friends make sexual comments about a teen girl? Maybe she's a movie star, a singer. Are you laughing along? Are you staying silent because you don't want to be the odd man out? Are you telling yourself, oh, it's just a little joke? Because you know what? It's not. Every time you laugh at a sexualized comment about a child, you're giving cover to predators. Every time you stay silent when another man crosses that line, you're complicit. Real men protect children. Real men speak up. And real men don't make excuses for predators. They stop them.
It's humor in bad taste of the most epic proportion out there.
Yep.
It's just why it's just one of those things that's just, you know, it's like you.
Exactly. Katrina, yeah, she says, I've deployed with people who died for our country and couldn't even have a drink legally.
Mm-hmm.
Shaking her head. Yep.
Yeah.
And yet you're going to tell me a 16-year-old should have the legal right to consent to having a sexual relationship with an 18-year-old even? Now, some of the states have Juliet laws, but it should be across the board. It should be 18, you know, because let's face it, no 16-year-old, you know.
Their brain hasn't developed well enough to know.
Yeah.
You know, they have these urges, but their brain isn't developed enough to know that they shouldn't
Right.
act on it, you know? So.
Well, and I'm also tired of people saying, well, children aren't children anymore. Excuse me. Yes, they are. Mentally, they're children.
Yeah.
Okay, they might look more adult because they wear makeup, they do their hair, or the boys are a little buffer, or might grow facial hair sooner. But if they're under 18, they're children. So don't be messing with them. You know, just don't do it. Yeah, you're right, Ben. There are those laws. Katrina, men, their brains aren't fully developed until they're like 26. Yeah, I've actually heard
yeah.
for both it's 25.
Yep.
But you know, I think 18 would be an age to work with. I like that, Katrina.
Possibly.
So,
you know, that's still pretty. 18 is still pretty young, you know, so.
oh, it definitely is. You know, but that is an age that a child can leave home, you know, no questions asked. So, you know, I'm looking at from that point of view.
Oh, from legally. Yeah, legally.
Yeah, legally. You know, Fala, I heard 75. Now, Fala, you guys are going to make the boys have their feelings hurt.
I was always under the impression that if you're over 75, you shouldn't be leaving home anyway. You know, so.
Okay. I like that, Doc. Good night, Racy. You have a good night, sweetheart. Thanks for dropping in. William, you're right. Kids can look more adult now, but mentally they're actually younger. They're back in the day. Kids went to work for the family or on the farm and were married off young. Not saying it's right. You're right. And truthfully, I don't think there should be causes. I've come to the conclusion that parents shouldn't be able to sign off their kid to get married. I'm sorry. I think it should be 18. And we've got someone in our own family
Yep.
that did this, went to another state to marry someone younger, and they were young too. They were 15 and 18. But you know what? There are too many parents out there that are not taking care of their children, and they're not looking out for their children. So it's something it's a conversation to have. And not everybody's going to agree with me, and that's fine. You know, that's cool. That's what debate is. Debate is being able to discuss a situation calmly and like adults and share ideas. And that's what's important. I love debate. Doc will tell you that.
No, not at all.
And to the women listening, we can't do this alone. We can't protect our children alone. We need the men in our lives to step up. So speak out. Be the protectors they claim to be. And like I told you, women, if you're on your own with your children, don't be introducing them to some dude you just met. Don't be leaving them with him in charge of your children. Or if you swing the other way, a woman, because women commit crimes too against children. So we're not going to play the, oh, men are worse than women. No. But statistically, right now, it is still more men than women. So that, and this is what this case is. So regardless of gender, protect your child. That's your job, is to protect your child. And that's, you're supposed to protect it from everybody. So if you see something, say something. If you hear something that makes your skin crawl, speak up. If you know about a child that's being harmed, report it. And don't stop reporting until you see someone take some action. Because silence is betrayal. We know that. And here's what people, don't understand about a child abuse. The victim gets a life sentence. Richard Leigh Bell, dog turd, got probation and 5 years of checking in with a probation officer, and then he's done. But that little girl, she will carry this for the rest of her life. Do you know she already wrote a note that she wished she weren't alive because her brain feels broken? That is a 9-year-old child. She feels this is her fault, and it's not. That is her sentence. The memories, the trauma, the scars you can't see and that never quite heal. She's going to struggle with trust, with relationships when she's older, with her own sense of self-worth. Statistics show that survivors of childhood sexual abuse are at a higher risk for addiction, mental health issues, PTSD, depression, anxiety. They're more likely to be victimized again because you know what? Predators can identify someone who's already been broken. And where will this system be when she needs help? Where will Travis County be when she's battling addiction, suicidal thoughts, whoops, or struggling to maintain relationships, or dealing with homelessness? They won't be there because they're never there in the first place, were they?
Yeah, well, the question would be who is this girl?
Yeah. They see a young lady out on the street, maybe she's homeless or something, and they're going to think, well, what's wrong with her? Well, maybe when she was a child, she had heartbreaking trauma that nobody stood up for and did anything but her parent, her father. Maybe she saw the justice system let this man walk away. These are the questions we have to ask ourselves. Are we okay with them? These children are our future, and we're failing them. Hey, Julie's guitar, glad you're here, darling. We're making them believe their pain doesn't matter, their trauma isn't severe enough, their abusers deserve second chances, and then we wonder why other survivors don't speak up. We wonder why children stay silent. It's because they see what happens. They're going to hear about this brave little girl who spoke up, wanted to testify, and was courageous enough to stand in court, and the system let her abuser walk free. And they might not have the courage to say anything. But here's what I need you to do. Go sign the petition, okay? Justin, in the nick of crime, he wants to stop plea deals for children, child predators. It's linked in the description. It will be. Contact your Travis County legislators. Call them. If you don't live here, just call as a concerned citizen. Email. Please show up at their office. Ask them why they're not being tough on child predators. Ask them why our children are worth less than campaign promises. Hey, therapist, here are some names to start with. Travis County District Attorney Jose Garza. His office is 512-854-9415. Contact the Travis County Commissioner's Court. Reach out to Texas state representatives. Tell them you're watching. Tell them you'll remember this when they come up for re-election. Tell them it's unacceptable. If you live in Lexington, Virginia, or nearby area, Richard Leigh Bell, the dog turd, is now part of your community. He's required to register as that sex offender. So far not. But that doesn't guarantee your children are safe. So stay alert. Stay informed. Share his picture. Warn your neighbors. Support organizations that actually protect your children. Bikers Against Child Abuse, BACA. There's one called RAIN. There's also other advocacy centers. Have the hard conversations. Discuss accountability with the men in your life, the women in your life. Talk about body autonomy and safe adults with your children. Have those conversations at appropriate ages. Break the cycle of silence. And some of you on social media platforms, you're enabling people to pretend words don't matter in cases of abuse. You're re-victimizing rape victims. Yes, I said it. By allowing people to say grape instead. It wasn't about fruit. It was about control and attack. You hear child victims when they're very young, like this child, that might say something like, I didn't know it was wrong. It felt icky, but it wasn't until someone told me that it wasn't normal. When I went to school and I asked other students, does your daddy or mommy do this to you? We don't do these shows for children. And so children are not watching. These children probably have a better vocabulary than the people who want us to pretend that we're making a fruit salad instead of standing with victims and reporting on true crime. Shame on you, because all that does is really help the predator hide behind what crime he is committing, because they are crimes. They need to be outed. District Attorney Garza, prosecutors Ephraim De La Fuente and Lorena Garcia, Judge Carrick, Judge Julie, and her fellow judges of Travis County. I know you'll probably never hear this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Do your job. Stop hiding behind bureaucracy, budget cuts, staffing issues. Stop making excuses and stop cutting deals with monsters. Like my mama said, if it's too hot in the kitchen, get out. So go find another job with less pressure if you can't handle it. Because there are children relying on you to do your job. Families depending on you to stand up in a courtroom and do your job. The whole community relies on you. Predators don't stop at one child unless they're put away for life. And you're failing. Like I showed you, your report card, you're horrid. And you need to know it. Every light sentence that you guys give is a signal. It's a green light for another predator. Every time you prioritize your conviction rate over a child's safety, you become complicit. Judges, prosecutors, you need to start being held accountable. Stop burying your head in your hands and do something. You have the power, judges, to reject plea deals. You have the power to say no. It's not justice. And to you prosecutors, if you haven't brought a case to trial in 9 years and you're just shuffling plea deals like paperwork and, candy, you're in the wrong job. Find another career. McDonald's might be hiring, because children deserve advocates who are going to stand up and fight for them, not attorneys who are counting down to retirement. To the DA, reform your department and ensure that victims receive the justice they deserve, because this is on your watch. And let me say this directly to every prosecutor who is ever taken an easy plea deal instead of fighting for a child. Your conviction rate doesn't matter. It doesn't mean a damn if a predator walks free and another child becomes a victim. Your win-loss record, it doesn't matter if children are being betrayed. Your career advancement isn't more important than a 2-year-old and her safety. You want to win? Here's one for you. Put a child predator behind bars where they belong. That's the win. Want good stats? Here's some. 0 plea deals for child predators. That's something to be proud of. That's a badge of honor. I don't care about your staffing issues. Don't care about the budget constraints. I don't care about your caseload. Those are your issues. Those are management challenges. Those are political concerns, and I don't want to hear about that. And I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I don't care if you're on the red side or the blue side. Because guess what? There are predators on both sides of the aisle. So stop pointing fingers at each side saying, well, if we were the DA, or if we were the prosecutor, or these things would be, no. If you're a predator and hiding in plain sight, we will find out. You will be next for a blast like this. You know what's not a political problem? A 2-year-old is being SA'd. You know what's not a management issue? A predator walking free. What's not a staffing concern? Justice for children. So stop making excuses, stop hiding behind bureaucracy, and stop prioritizing your careers over children's lives. Do your job, or get out of the way for someone who's going to stand up and do it. Now, to the little girl at the center of this case, I know you won't hear this, but to you and every other survivor, it's not your fault. What happened to you is not your fault. The system failed you, and it wasn't your fault. You were courageous. You spoke out. You told the truth. You did everything correctly. The system let you down. The adults let you down. But you did not let yourself down. Your voice counts. Your story counts. Your life counts. And even if the courts have let you down, there are people fighting on your side. There are warriors like BACA, the Bikers Against Child Abuse, that will stand with you. There are advocates who won't stop speaking against the real monsters. Richard Leigh Bell, the dog turd. And there's a community of survivors, allies who see you, who believe you, and who will never stop demanding justice on your behalf. You're not alone. You're not forgotten. And your abuser may have avoided jail time, but he will live with the stain of what he did for the rest of his life. And everyone who Googles his name will know. Every community he tries to hide in is going to eventually find out. And we won't let him hide, because this community here that is full of trial junkies, truth seekers, and justice warriors, we're not going to stay quiet. Silence is betrayal. So we will say something, and we will continue to say something, and we will continue to post his picture, because we don't want him to be hiding, and we want people to know who he was and what he did. But let's go ahead and look at some missing people. Doc, you might have to get, oh, there we go.
Okay.
Stay alert when you're out and about. If you're on your cell phone, put it down. Look at people's faces. Sometimes people leave voluntarily and then they come into danger. And sometimes they never have the choice. They're taken. So let's try and pay attention. Whoops. Went 2 spots. Because human trafficking is real. And it's a very scary thing. And you might be able to save someone's life. If you see something that doesn't look right, you contact the police. Don't think somebody else is going to do it. You do it. No, you can't get in trouble for posting his picture up there. You know, he's a predator. So let's start with our first, and this is
Anne
let
Marie.
me see. That was right. Anne Marie Choknok. She's from Alaska. There's a few names in here, people. Just stick with me. I've already told Doc he's going to have to help with the names, because you know me and some of the names, they just do not roll off my tongue. What can I say? She's 53, and she has been missing since August 15th from Anchorage, Alaska. She goes by AKA Anna Marie
Kvasnikov.
Thank you. He says that so beautifully. She is 5'3", and she weighs about 195 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes. The photo, as you can see, is from 2021. So if you know where she is, call Anchorage at 907-786-8900. The case number is 2500-25484. She's also on NamUs, so it's M as in Michael, P as in Paul, 151754. The Alaskan State Troopers also have a case number, A as in Apple, K as in Kite, 25108749, and their number is 907-269-5511. So if you've seen Anna Marie, please contact the authorities. Our next person is Precious Mariah Peraza. She's 28. She's been missing since October the 16th, 2025, from Seattle, Washington. She was seen at the Amtrak station. She could be using the alias Delight Burgee. She is 5'3" and 190 pounds. She has brown eyes or brown hair and hazel eyes. So if someone sees her in Seattle, dial 911, or you can contact the Fort Peck Tribal Police in Montana at 406-768-5565. I also included a picture of her without her makeup, because I was able to find that. And the U.S. Bureau of Indian Affairs, Fort Peck on Wolf Point, is searching for Precious. So she is on the Montana Missing Persons Database. She was last seen on October 30th, traveling from Poplar to Seattle on an Amtrak train, and nobody has seen her since. So the reservation, the U.S. Bureau of Indian Affairs at Fort Peck is 406-768-5565. So let's see if we can get her found, because, you know, this poor girl's out there and we don't know what's going on. Now, the next one is a young man. This is over a year old. His name is Rico
Akpelipik.
Oh, thank you. Akpelipik. He's 15. He went missing October 2nd, 2024. This one is a little confusing because on one site it said he went missing in September 27th. On another, it says October 2nd. I'm going with October 2nd. The location was the Pond Inlet in Nunavut. He is Inuit. He has black hair, brown eyes. He's 5 foot and weighed 119 pounds. He was wearing a gray hoodie, black pants, and blue shoes, and they said he had blue headphones with him. Now, they did do a massive search when it was reported he was missing. They brought in dogs from Quebec, they had drones, but they didn't find him. In August of this year, they were going to start searching again after 10 months. So Rico has not been found yet. The Nunavut Emergency Management conducted search and rescue. They're still trying to find this young man. So please, he hasn't been found yet. So contact them at 867-979-0123. The case number is P as in Paul, O as in Oscar, N as in Nancy, 2024-146-3470. It's important he gets located. Our next person is Zoe Bryansky, I think is how you say that.
Brightsky. That's if there isn't it looks like there might be a silent letter in there. I'm not sure. So
okay, she's 38, and she went missing sometime in the end of October. They don't have a specific date yet, and that could be because it's hard to get all the information. That's when she was located. Someone just informed the authorities of this, because this is from the Stolen Spirits group that we use a lot of their flyers. So we want to thank Braddy and her group. And the location was from Kamloops, British Columbia, Canada. She has brown eyes, her hair brown, possibly dyed. Sometimes she wears a wig. She's 5'4". She weighs 100 pounds. She has nose piercings, tattoos of a skull with orchids on her left shoulder, star tattoos from her hand up past her wrists. She has a skull on her ankle, a skull with purple butterfly on her shoulder blade. And they said there's probably even more. So she left. She usually likes to frequent downtown, sometimes the North Shore of Kamloops. If you have any information about Zoe, contact the authorities, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police at 250-828-3000, file number 2025-35672, or contact your local police department. I understand, William. Yeah, we're almost winding up.
yeah, thanks for being here, though.
Yeah, I got as Doc likes to say, my righteous indignation got going tonight. Because this was a case that...
it did, babe.
I do good when that happens, though, so I enjoy it. So Richard Leigh Bell, you guys, let's not forget him. Let's get his picture everywhere because he needs to be seen. 37 years old, originally from Texas, now in Lexington, Virginia. 9 felony counts of child SA. And he pleaded guilty to 1 count of injury to a child. And I bet you that beard's gone. He is supposed to be a sex offender registry person, but let's see if he gets there. He's ordered no contact with minors. Yeah. But he's free and walking the streets. So let's pay attention. To everyone listening, this episode was hard, you guys. I thank you for sticking with me. I know it was. Please share it. We have to get this story out. They need to be told. These cases can't be buried. These children who can't be forgotten. Until the system starts doing its job, we'll continue to do ours. And that's shining a light in the dark places. We'll keep speaking the names that people want to forget. We'll continue demanding accountability from those who refuse to provide it, because every killer depends on your silence. Every predator counts on your indifference. Every broken system banks on your exhaustion. But we're not silent. We're not indifferent. And we're not tired. We're energized. We're Trial Junkies United, and we're just getting started. Just in the nick of crime is just sounding the warning, and that's important. So thank you for taking the time to be with us tonight. I know it was heavy. I know it hurts, but that hurt fuels us. It gives us the anger so that we get the pitchforks and the torches out. You know, we're going for this guy. We're going to put his name out.
Stop short of riots, guys.
Yeah. We don't encourage riots, but we're going to let the authorities know that we're not going to let them be pulling this no more. They have to stop.
Definitely.
You know? And so if you appreciate our work, you can buy us a cup of coffee, Venmo. But you know what? If you're having a difficult time, that's fine. Sharing, commenting, those things matter. Clicking the like button, all that stuff, it really matters. And we are growing. We are getting heard. And that's what's important, because we want to do this for these children. Every Thursday night, we'll see you with our Justice After Dark for our Indigenous and Native brothers and sisters. Tonight, we focused on system failure, but you never know what next week will be. We shine a light on the stories that matter. So until next time, you guys, stay compassionate, stay angry, keep seeking the truth, keep demanding the justice, never, ever stop speaking. Say goodnight, Doc.
Good night, Doc.
We love you all. And remember, predators never stop, so neither do we. They count on your silence. Don't give it to them. Until next time, keep fighting for that justice, keep protecting the innocent, and keep speaking truth to power. This is TJU presents Justice After Dark. I'm Z, your storyteller, and silence is betrayal. Ciao. Listen to our song.
Greetings, truth seekers and justice warriors. Let's ride, Z's your storyteller with that fire in her eyes. A ride or die, Doc's riding shotgun by her side. Moon rolls with us through the dark of night. And we're ready for the fight in the wilderness where predators hunt, where the system fails and cases grow cold. We're shining our light on the other side, on the stories that need to be told. Welcome to Justice After Dark, where cold cases never rest. Every name deserves to be heard, from the missing to the murdered, because even in darkness, justice needs a voice. Join the story, make some noise. Justice belongs to everyone. We bring it to light. Through cold case files where time stands still, Indigenous voices echo from the void. The forgotten names, we still remember them. We won't ignore any missing souls. Building bridges, breaking walls, answering justice's call. One community, one voice. In the darkness we rejoice, sharing stories left behind, every truth we can find. Welcome to Justice After Dark, where cold cases never sleep. Every name deserves to be heard, for the missing and the murdered, because even in darkness, justice deserves a voice. Join the story, make some noise. Justice belongs to everyone. We bring it to light. So buckle up, trial junkies, truth seekers and justice warriors. The road ahead gets bumpy as we guide you through another set of stories that need justice. Welcome to Justice After Dark. The adventure starts now. One community, one voice.